There you are. I was wondering, when you found the Solarian Ark, was anything strange, out of place?
You mean besides the exalted Krogan, the relics, and getting jabbed in the neck? Why are you asking?
Because a few hours ago, we received this.
Hello, Ryder. I don't think the Solarian Ark was captured by chance. If you want to know more, meet me at these coordinates.
That's all. Do you think it's some sort of hoax?
Now that I think about it, a Ket armada just stumbling across the Solarian Ark seems a little convenient.
Coincidences do happen, though when you put it like that. I'll put the coordinates for this meeting in the nav computer. I suppose there's no harm in making sure.
Oh, just when you think you're done, we're going to Havarl anyway. Okay. So, not quite ready for the climax then. Is it really an unlikely coincidence, though? Like, freaking... The Ket are so widespread, they attack you on every single habitable planet, and some uninhabitable planets, like the Nightmare one that was covered in lightning. They attack you everywhere you go all the time, to the point of seeming ever-present. They must have a gargantuan army and a gargantuan space force that covers the entire galaxy, so the idea that somebody would notice a giant arc coming into the system and intercept it is actually pretty unsurprising. It's more surprising that they weren't all simultaneously that screwed, although some of them kind of were. Invitation, Pathfinders only, from Zevin Reka. Ryder, I realize you're taken up with business, as we all are, but we shouldn't forget to celebrate our victories. The reunion of so many Pathfinders certainly counts. Next time you're on the Nexus, come to Pathfinder HQ. We deserve an evening to catch up all together. Regards, Rake. I just left. Couldn't you just bring this up while I was there and I could just not leave? This game wants to maximize how much time I spend watching those animations of landing on planets and getting back off planets over and over again. So many times. Hello, Ryder. This is from Kahlo. I got this from one of the returnees in the Nexus. I thought you might like to see it. Just a reminder, if you ever need somebody to deliver you to the jugular, one of those Ket monsters, I'm there. Huh? Sorboltane. I hope I've got the right person. Do you fly that ship, the Tempest? Someone told me one of our people was helping the human Pathfinder. Thank you for getting us away from that terrible ship. The sights, the smells, they'll always be with me. But you and Ryder made sure they'll just be memories. Do us proud. Estane. Any update with Suvi while we're here?
We might have a problem. I was running some numbers, mass balances and such. The Tempest is carrying about 70 kilos of extra mass. I think something's aboard that doesn't belong.
"70 kilos is enough mass for another person."
Our internal sensors aren't getting anything, but they're not as powerful as a Pathfinder's scanner. Can you take a look?
Alright. I'll look around the ship and see what I can find.
Someone's here that's not supposed to be here. That's kind of a big deal. Why is that spot glowing specifically? Any update on PB, by the way? Hello.
Before you say anything, no PDAs. What's up?
Thanks for chatting. We'll talk again later.
You know it.
So there was just another major patch. I think it was like a gigabyte and a half. And if they manage to patch the game in a way that breaks the dialogue system, boy oh boy, that's an impressive problem to add. Anyone notice anything different? One of you is supposed to be doing security, kind of, right? Hopefully. Ghost Storm technology.
The Ghost Storm technology has been fully researched, Pathfinder.
Excellent. We're ready to make our push on Meridian then. I'll call a meeting immediately.
Wow, researching's easy. It turns out scientists are just whiny. Circuit diagram analysis. Comparative technology study number 1, comparison between Angara and Initiative circuit diagrams, result generation 65%. An initial but ongoing study into differences, similarities of Angaran technology to ours. None
of the equipment in here would produce extra mass readings.
I was like, if I move around and spam the clicking enough, it'll eventually work. And it eventually worked. It was fighting me for a bit there. Alright, so now they want me to walk around the ship and scan, looking for anything out of the ordinary. Oh, someone else. Right. That's for actually proceeding, so let's avoid that for a bit and poke around with the other stuff we're doing. Come on, I saw you highlight for a second there. You can't get past me. There we go.
No extra mass in the airlock. Too bad. It'd be easy to get rid of it.
It would be easy. What am I highlighting? Oh, there you are. We've got so many organisms and pieces of equipment on here that, like, almost anything on here could easily be accounting for the weight difference in a way that, like, wouldn't be that big of a deal. There's one thing that wasn't filled in on a meter somewhere. Oh, well, time to go back to Sam node. Apparently I can now finally see the family secrets thing. So that was waiting for my sister to wake up, then. Gotta keep checking out the Tempest, though. Then I guess I'll go back to the Nexus for our Pathfinder get-together and Sam node. Those should both be important moments. But for now, I'm scanning the entire ship. Hooray. Hello? No.
All the mass readings in here are normal.
Of course they are. Something up.
I hope not.
You're not gonna bring it up? Explain to people that there's a missing there's a whole person on here, maybe?
Hey, Ryder. What's the story?
Oh no, big deal, just a stowaway might be murdering us all soon, but let's just not acknowledge it. Also, the stowaway's my sister. Let's be real about this.
Need something? I can stop what I'm doing.
I'll see you later, Jal.
Stay strong and clear.
Just checking around. No one's gonna mention anything. It's gotta be my sister, right? Of all people, like, Sarah Ryder's gonna be the person that's mysteriously stowing aboard our ship. Maybe inside of one of these things, or whatever a person can fit inside. Maybe hiding in the no-bad? Sarah, where are you hiding?
Got it. Suvi, that extra mass is behind the storage room bulkhead.
Behind it?
It looks like a construction mech welded right into the hull.
Scanning the parts has activated an audio log.
I think I know what that's about, Ryder. Come up to the bridge.
Is it not? I was sure it would be Sarah Ryder. Or maybe that's just wishful thinking. That damn character becomes a part of the story already. Alright, Callow, fill me in.
Those parts you found welded in the storage room. I recognize them.
From where?
They belong to the ship's lead designer, Lucille Diawara. She broke her back during construction. But Lucille wouldn't abandon her ship. She converted a construction mech into a rig she could wear. She must have welded it into the hull. Her artist's signature.
Wait, it's been here the entire time? We were acting like there's a person-sized amount of weight that's just here all of a sudden. There's just suddenly there's suddenly just this weird weight that we gotta talk about because it's such a big deal all of a sudden. And it's been here for like 80 hours or something, just hanging out, doing its thing, and it's never come up until now. Also, what was it? You said it was an exoskeleton or something? Like a whole thing that lets somebody who couldn't do their work in spite of it? Like, it probably is significantly heavier than a Solarian.
Not even a broken back could stop her dream.
Sam, didn't you find an audio log with Lucille's rig? Can you play it?
Sam found my construction gear then. Well done. One of you Pathfinders got the Tempest. Mason Barrow, Zevin Reka, Matriarch Ishara, Alec Ryder. You were the best of us.
The only Pathfinder left from that list is Reka.
But there's new names. Because of you.
Take care of my ship and each other. Whatever is in Andromeda, you're the Milky Way to them. We are such stuff as dreams are made on, and our little life is rounded with a sleep.
I never thought I'd hear Lucille's voice again.
She really cared about the Pathfinders. Enough to give them her rig. For luck.
Lucille made it a part of the Tempest. Let's keep it that way.
I'll see to it, Ryder.
Thanks. Now let's go make her proud.
Well, that's a nice little moment. It adds to the idea that Callow's super defensive about this idea of like how the Solarians worked on this rig and they died, and like that they're integral to its existence. That's when he's fighting with Gil in the other scene. I don't know if they had to happen in this order, or if Suvi's scene could have happened first, because this happened from Suvi warning me, right? I don't know if that was, if it had to happen in this order specifically or not.
Feeling all right? You were clinically dead for a few seconds. I didn't even know a Sam could do that.
I didn't either. Imagine how I felt.
I'll bet. Death is the only exit, not the most reassuring words to hear. Anyway, thank you, Sam, for saving Ryder's life.
You're welcome, Dr. Anwar.
I should get back to things.
Sounds good. What's going on?
I should get back to things.
Sounds good.
Just making sure these people are actually dialogue extinct at this point, because they're the easiest characters to kind of skip on if I'm not careful.
Ryder, might I borrow your research room access?
What for?
Nothing much. Just hoping to research something in my spare time. Oh, would you care to help?
I'll help if I can.
Suvi, could you take the helm for a little while? It's preliminary, but all that data we've gathered on the Scourge should be good for something.
Is that our drive core?
I want to research new systems, sensors, shields, EMP defenses, to help any ship tackle the Scourge. I'm using Lucille's old blueprints as a baseline. I can read them from memory, but if you and Sam can help, I'd really appreciate it.
I'm no starship expert, but Sam and I can pitch in, sure. Though if you want someone who really knows ships, there's always...
Gil. I know. We barely speak these days. I thought it was best. And yet, Gil's redesigns are what got me thinking. Funny. Most Solarians leap at innovation.
If he's got ideas and you know the specs, that's a powerful combination. Run with it.
We forget all our technology didn't just appear. Someone invented it. Someone cared. That matters. But so does inventing new things to care about. New memories. Gil, then. Any advice on how to ask him?
A little honesty and humility will go a long way.
Gil, may I get a moment of your time?
Well now, your precious ship is running just like you wanted.
I'm researching new systems to handle the Scourge. I could use your expert opinion, please.
Sticking to the old school?
I don't have to.
No sense reinventing the wheel. Though you'd need better secondaries in place. Here.
And then they disappear in a blink of an eye, and are replaced by everyone else in the crew. Weird closing moment. Story-wise, though, nice way to go full circle with those characters. Well, not really full. It's not really I don't think full circle is the weird thing to call that at all. But it's a follow-up of like them having their clash and then eventually sort of coming together over time and figuring out how to work together, which, frankly, the crew probably should have been vetted for being able to work together before being sent on the most important mission of the entire galaxy. The way that they don't get along at all is probably a red flag that probably should have been... Like, there's so many other candidates, right? Unless they're literally the best of the best, but that's an excuse that's leaned on pretty heavily a lot of the time. So I think now it's time to... Yeah, let's go and head back to Nexus again. For the purpose of having a get-together with the Pathfinders and then Sam's probably final memory, which hopefully Sarah will be present for. She's probably in it. So one of my goals right now is to find Pathfinder HQ. I'm not sure if I know where that is. But I'm gonna try.
Multiple passengers are still in quarantine. This is HNS.
Here's Ops. I don't really know where Pathfinder HQ is. So I believe I got an email from the other Pathfinders being like, let's all hang out. I'm like, alright, bro. And then I check my quest log and there's no quest for it. So I'm like, oh crap, I need to track these people down.
It's impossible to get a signal on this station.
Is this Pathfinder HQ? It's probably not. Security area, you're nondescript. Unfortunately, it's... The Asari is going to look exactly like most of the people. Are you still in here?
She fell.
The doc says that break is a textbook case of being hit with biotics. Hard.
And they're lying too, because she fell.
Did you come 2 million light years to be a scumbag abuser? Or do you want to grow a spine and admit you fucked up?
Oh. Oh. We're like going into somebody having like a biotic with spousal abuse and stuff like that? I thought that, because all the Asari look the same in this game, more so than ever before, I thought that was the reporter. I'm like, oh god, this went dark. But then I realized it said Asari prisoner instead of it being the actual Asari we had. Yeah, I gotta say, I have actually no idea which specific part of this place is Pathfinder HQ. This is Kresh's office. Is that... now it's just called... Jax is the same dialogue every time I walk in here. That's just called Kesh's office, nothing else. Let's see. Are you Pathfinder HQ? Hello, Addison. Would you like to talk about anything? I don't come here very often.
Pathfinder.
Have you caught up with Dr. Kennedy now she's back on the Nexus?
She's as difficult as she always was, which is how it should be. Andromeda isn't supposed to change everything.
You two seem very different.
I met Jean at a university bar. She was talking libertarian and drinking vodka slimes. I instantly hated her. An hour later, we were back-to-back fighting half a lacrosse team, and somehow she hadn't started it. I bet there's someone like that on your ship. They drive you crazy, but for some reason, you just click.
Oh, yeah. Some people just... yeah.
Then you understand. Life is so... safe without those kinds of people. Some might say better, but they're not in the initiative.
How has the Nexus reacted to the foothold I've established?
People are eager to help. The shortages are obvious, but you're turning it to inspiration. Havarl is a draw for the research-minded, despite there being so little established. It remains unusual despite the corrected vault. It may yet be a surprising producer. We shall see. There's so much beneath Vold. Some are calling it beautiful, but not when I'm around. Poetry remains off-limits. While Tate is a master at wringing out resources, there are legitimate concerns about the connections you use to place it.
Sloan is established. We need that influence.
Tan is livid, of course. Giving the exiles any concession legitimizes them. Keep an eye on it. There's only so much I can deflect, and only so long as you can promise stability. A surprising number are moving between here and Eladon. It's very familiar, bringing the Krogan back.
You don't mind that Morta gets concessions?
Not if the Krogan are under our banner. Tan takes it personal. I go by the numbers. I'll eat some crow if it gets us resources.
That was a weird piece of dialogue. Some people are calling that planet beautiful, but not when I'm around. Poetry's forbidden. I'm like, what? It's an observation. It's just called poet. Well, that was such a weirdly, awkwardly written line. I'm definitely satisfied, though, by the fact that Tan is actively being annoyed by my actions, because I don't like Tan, particularly. He is the idiot that splintered this group and basically would have ruined our chances if Chosen One Rider didn't somehow come in and solve everything along the way. Yeah, we want to bring the Exiles back in and the Krogan back in. Unsplintering the group is the best case scenario, because we're not going to get more people for another generation.
Has there been any immediate reaction to exposing Spender?
Of course. The damage he did. That'll scar us for a long time. There's also the crow I've had to eat. Can't say it wasn't deserved.
We're all better off without him.
Brecker might disagree. His job now includes everything Spender did.
Thanks ever so much.
How are we doing on the viability front?
Aiming for success. It sounds pat, but you're living up to the job.
Director Addison?
Goodbye, Pathfinder.
That reminds me, I should actually check in with Kesh, because I don't know if I've actually talked to her recently. Like at all. Said crow twice back to back. Huh. Poetry really is forbidden. We just use the same terms over and over again.
Locked him up, huh? Spender won't last long if they set him loose. A lot of people are angry.
How angry?
Let's just say I've got a couple engineers making sure the airlock security backups are working.
He sure knows how to make friends, doesn't he?
Man's got a talent for it, that's for sure. Someone will get to him eventually, and I look forward to hearing about it. But on my station, no one gets airlocked without my permission.
Nothing more for now.
Try not to die out there.
Alright, more minor follow-up there. Most of the other stuff is kind of already exhausted. Is Tan's office also Pathfinder HQ? I don't know where Pathfinder HQ is. There's never been other Pathfinders to meet up with in this game. Oh, here apparently.
Ah, Ryder. Grab a seat.
So afterwards, the cat got twitchy. Took me a while to get back.
The idea of Solarians figuring out exaltation must keep them up at night.
Oh, I hope so.
So you're finding out the Ket's dirty exaltation secrets?
That's the plan. Your star maps were helpful, by the way.
You're welcome. Between us, charting the Scourge and Ryder's vault data, the Ket will run out of bolt holes.
I'll send you our latest.
I'll take a copy as well. Anything to expand the search grid.
Still hunting down the stasis pods.
And finding them. Having a partner AI makes one hell of a difference. I guess I need to train a successor, and figure out how to prepare them.
Better to find your wings as you fly. Worked for us, didn't it?
More groundwork would have helped in the early days.
Huh. Well, that's worth knowing.
In the meantime, we've a serious matter to deal with. The first vintage bottled in Andromeda. Sent as a gift.
A good thing I brought my flask. Damn, that smells good.
Since we've got a moment to ourselves, shall we toast?
Can all of us even drink the same drinks? Huh. Guess we'll find out.
To our crews, our Sams, and each other. May we always find our path home.
Don't necessarily. Whoa, there they go. There they all go. I don't exactly expect them to be completely mutually exclusive forever, but I would definitely be a little surprised to find that the Turian and the human could drink the same drinks, generally. I mean, poison drinks was actually a plot point in Mass Effect 2.
It sounds like our experience was a picnic compared to what the Solarians went through. Rake is determined to put an end to exaltation, and she'll have every bullet I can lend her.
Good luck, Sarissa.
On to glory, Ryder.
Figure I'll stick to my final tour of trying to talk to everyone, because there's a lot of miscellaneous characters I've probably under-talked to. And I guess the leaders of the initiative around here. I have not basically been ignoring Kesh, Addison, and Tan for large periods of time, but that's because that's really part of the issue with Ryder, is he's so independent from them in his actions only barely ever checking in to even kind of sort of talk about what to do next, that I just don't have a reason to come back to them. It definitely is added to the fact that, like, Addison calls me on VidCon so we can just have a tiny update when I finish a planet. Like, you have 100% planet completion. Congratulations. Please say one line of inspirational dialogue so we can tell everyone about it, is basically our interactions.
Ah, Ryder, my hero. We Solarians have a tough road ahead. It's hard to wake up to such loss. But we are not the first, just one of many. Is there anything on your mind?
How are your people adjusting to life here?
We are resilient. Our lifespan is short, so we have a built-in drive to maximize every minute. Many of us are getting to the business of bolstering our numbers and looking for opportunities to settle worlds. I have a few select teams looking into the Ket. The better we know the enemy, the more prepared we'll be for whatever they throw at us next.
How did you get involved with the initiative?
My claim to fame in the Milky Way was that I found a way to restore the biodiversity of my homeworld. For decades, we knew that the planet would soon be unable to sustain us, so I was something of a hero. My work caught your father's attention, and he, how shall I say, laid on the charm to enlist me for the initiative.
Oh yeah?
Your father could be very charming when he wished.
What is it you strive for? For you, I mean.
For me, all I've ever wanted is clarity. I devote much of my time looking in the mirror, trying to understand myself. Some might find it narcissistic, but in knowing myself, I can be true in the moment, with little self-interrogation. Ultimately, the motivation is to live a life free of regret. I have come close, thus far.
What can you tell me about my father?
He was a friend, and what he shared with me was shared in confidence. But I can tell you, the Alec Ryder he showed to the world was but a sliver of the whole. He felt that to lead, he must project utter confidence. With me, he shared his fears and doubts, or at least a few of them. I considered that a great compliment.
Is Captain Hager doing well?
Hager is training to be my successor, if or when the need arises. We lost so many of our leaders during our captivity. It's left several roles open to fill. Hager is a dedicated officer. The sky's the limit for him. He'd make a strong Pathfinder.
You're not thinking of skipping out on us, are you?
Of course not. But life is a balancing act, and tipping points lurk around every corner. The better prepared he is, the smoother the transition.
Nice talking with you, Reka.
I am at your disposal, Ryder.
Definitely smart to be training someone new because, well, there's precedent. Oh, all the moonwalking that happens in this game. The game does not know where it expects the players to be. It's weird. So as best as I can come up with about the pathing is it seems like the game semi-procedurally generates points for them to walk to. I think they probably have predetermined points, but I think it tells them to walk to those points in a random order. But if they aren't at the previous point yet, it'll now know what to do, so it'll like immediately drag them to the previous point so they can then start the walk to the next point, and it's like they have to moonwalk to the previous point if they haven't reached it yet. It picks new points too fast. And that basically happens every time any cutscene happens and any time you talk to anyone ever, because they're now out of sync with the ongoing patrol patterns that they're supposed to walk on, so they just moonwalk weirdly around the floor and look like lunatics for a bit.
Regardless, it's good to have you back, ma'am.
I know about Alec, but what about the other original Pathfinders? Where are they?
Unfortunately, they're gone too.
I see. But they left great things behind.
Hi, Ryder.
So it's official? You're part of our little club?
I know I was reluctant, but it was the right call. Thanks for the push.
I know you make Mason proud.
I'm trying.
How have you been since HO47C?
Fine, I'm fine.
If you ever want to talk about Mason, you know where to find me.
Thanks, Ryder. Really, I'm just not ready.
Pathfinder versus Spectre. How does it compare?
They're completely different beasts. As a Spectre, I worked in the shadows. Intel was on a need-to-know basis. Here, everyone's looking to me. Looking to me. It's all out in the open.
Which do you prefer?
Being a Spectre was easier, but being a Pathfinder's more rewarding.
I don't know if I feel the same way. I made a joke about original Mass Effect trilogy versus Andromeda.
Any luck finding other survivors from Natanus?
Brought in another batch yesterday. Still too many unaccounted for, but we're getting there.
I'll keep an eye out.
Thanks, Ryder. Appreciate it.
So, how are you finding the new post?
Not used to having people question my actions, but I like the challenge. More than I thought I would.
Any regrets?
My only regret is that Mason isn't here to see me play diplomat with Tan. Back in the Milky Way, I would have punched sense into that worm. Now, I use my words. I'm a changed man.
How's life on the Nexus treating you?
Running water and rations. It's a beautiful thing. I can tell people are still shook up from the uprising, but compared to Varl, things almost feel normal.
Good seeing you, Avitus.
Stay safe out there.
Speaking of Havarl, that's still going to be our next stop after we stop by Sam and, well, probably Tan also. You're probably the last one on my reunion thing before I go visit.
The Asari seem happy just to be alive, but the Nexus is running out of places to put them.
I know. The outposts can't come fast enough.
What do we do in the meantime?
Would they be willing to go back into stasis?
After what they've been through? You get to ask them.
I see your point. Just double them up in whatever quarters we have.
Easier said than done.
There's too many Asari coming in, you can't figure out what to do with them. Maybe it's time to reacquire all those nice functioning assets that are on that screen over there. Well, they're not probably on that screen right now, because that screen's probably the one that's probably Prodromos. But still, on Eos, there are 2 other settlements that are already established. They're fully functional, and the game, we know they're fully functional because the game made the mistake of letting us interact with them when we got there during the first mission of the game, basically, when we got to Eos. Their radiation shields are still up, but I guess that doesn't really matter as much anymore. All of their buildings are functional. Their generators worked, like we used them. We turned on their generators and stuff like that in order to access different parts of the facilities. Like, you got nowhere to put the Asari, that's certainly a starting point. Then you can keep working on extending our prefab structures and everything. I've already fixed the whole galaxy, just go pick places.
Ryder, I trust there are no hard feelings. As tempting as Meridian may be, caution must guide us.
Director, it's my job as Pathfinder to take risks. Meridian is our chance to find a home. What else matters?
Avoiding wholesale slaughter at the hands of the Ket, for one.
That could happen anyway. It's worth the risk.
The leadership disagrees. That's our final word. Did you have some other business?
That's all. Thanks for your time.
Of course.
At least they don't have the same answer as last time. They're like, it's too risky and we can't put ourselves through that risk. We have a responsibility to keep everyone safe. Like, it's a different, irritating, but also reasonable excuse. Because last time it was reasonable more or less with the council too, because they're like, we don't believe you. And we had reason not to believe Shepard, because Shepard's evidence was often in the form of dreams, which is not great evidence, all things considered. So the council had usually a decent explanation for why they wouldn't believe Shepard. And now the same similar things going on where Ryder has a thing that he thinks we should do, and we're not doing it. But at least it's not the exact same reason, because that'd be so frustrating if they recycled it. We already have another enemy race that kind of indoctrinates / makes flesh monsters out of its enemies, just like the Reapers, so if we kept going further down that line of repeating the stuff, it'd be really frustrating as things go.